Where you at, Christians? Where you at? That's the name of the video that I'm going to be reacting to today. Today, I'm going to be reacting to a lady called Dushianthi Sachi. She made a video on Instagram called To the Christians, Where You At? And obviously what she's talking about is the conflict that's going on right now in the Middle East between Palestine and Israel. So that's what she's talking about. Now, why am I reacting to this video? Apart from the obvious, to answer the question, where are Christians at? The reason why is because as of recently, I've noticed that a lot of Muslims are asking the same question. Even some very close friends of mine who are Muslims have asked me the same question. Where are the Christians? Well, today, hopefully, I'm sure of it, I'm going to be able to give you some answers. Now, let's see what she has to say.
This one is for my Christian community. Where you at? Like, seriously, where are you?
I'm right here. We are right here. What is she talking about?
I am so disappointed in the lack of response from the Christian church. First of all, you do...
Whoa. She's disappointed from the lack of response from the Christian church. Last time I checked, the Christian church has been very vocal about it. All right. You know, just to quickly debunk that claim that she just made, let's see what the Pope has to say. According to this video, Israel-Palestine war, Pope Francis says two-state solution needed. All right, so the Pope has come up with what he believes would be a good solution to this conflict, which is a two-state Israel-Palestine. So let's see what the Pope has to say. And this was 2 weeks ago.
Ogni guerra è una sconfitta.
Every war is a defeat, yes.
Non si risolve nulla con la guerra.
Nothing is resolved with war. Nothing.
Tutto si guadagna con la pace, col dialogo. Due popoli che devono vivere insieme.
Everything is gained through peace and dialogue.
Con quella soluzione saggia, due stati, l'accordo di Oslo, due stati ben limitati e Gerusalemme con uno stato speciale.
Basically proposes a two-state solution according to the Oslo Accord. So, as you can see, the biggest Christian church, the biggest religion in the world, is obviously speaking out against what's going on. So I don't know what she's talking about. Let's go to another video where the Pope is again speaking out about the situation. So, and this was right after right after the Hamas attack on the Jews.
Ancora una volta il mio pensiero va a quanto sta accadendo in Israele e in Palestina. Sono molto preoccupato, addolorato. Prego e sono vicino a tutti coloro che soffrono, agli ostaggi, ai feriti, alle vittime e ai loro familiari. Penso alla grave situazione umanitaria a Gaza e mi addolora che anche l'ospedale anglicano e la parrocchia greco-ortodossa siano stati colpiti nei giorni scorsi. Rinnovo il mio appello affinché si aprano degli spazi, si continuino a far arrivare gli aiuti umanitari e si liberino gli ostaggi.
There you go, calling for peace, dialogue, for humanitarian aid, for some kind of a resolve to this conflict. So immediately, so we can see that the church has been extremely vocal. Let's see what the Orthodox Church, which is the second biggest Christian church within the Christian world. So let's see what they have to say.
And his words are, "We are deeply grieved by the news coming from the suffering Middle East, and we mourn the souls taken during these tragic events. And may God's embrace comfort the grieving families. Our thoughts and prayers are particularly with the civilians who experience painful moments of anguish, terrorized by the sounds of sirens and imminent threat of explosions, and especially with all the innocent children who deserve to get raised in a truly promised land of peace and prosperity. Amid anger and destruction, amid evil and bitterness, human beings are easily tempted to think and to act violently. And while many deem violence as necessary means of dispute resolution, we can never see it as part of God's good creation, nor can we as Orthodox ever approve the use of violence to pursue peace. Instead, we must look back to that good that God first created and to the perfect peace to which he desires us to go, exhorting with the psalmist, depart from evil and do good, seek peace and pursue it. And besides, the struggle for peace is not only a divine commandment, but also a universal value and essential precondition for the respect and the protection of human dignity." And
there you go. There you go. My problem with what she's saying is with what she just said right now, when she said she's not seeing enough support from the Christian church. She's not seeing the Christian church being vocal enough about the situation. The problem with that is she's trying to build a narrative. All right. A narrative that doesn't represent what's actually happening, doesn't represent reality, but it will make the Christian world look like as if they had nothing to do or they did nothing about what's actually going on. And I don't like that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm reacting to it. Let's see what else she has to say.
Realize that there are Palestinian Christians that are being killed and churches that are being bombed and burned down. Not that that should matter to activate your empathy, but the third oldest church in the world was destroyed in Palestine.
Oh my. Oh. Is this woman serious? Does she know how many Christians are murdered in Muslim countries? How many Christians are bullied and harassed, spat at in Jewish in Israel? Does she know the statistics on this? Does she knows the numbers on this? Does she knows how many churches are burned in Muslim countries? Does she know how many sacred places are desecrated by the Jews in Israel? Does she know any of this? And she's talking about one of the oldest churches. It's sad, I know. Are there Palestinian Christians that are suffering in this conflict? Yes. Are we just going to pray for the Palestinian Christians out there? No. We are going to pray for everyone. We're going to pray for peace, period. We are going to pray for the Jews. We are going to pray for the Muslims. Why? Because this is what our religion calls us to. Even though we are being persecuted all over the world by Muslims, by Jews, even though that's the case, guess what? The Christian religion still asks us to forgive. The Christian religion still asks us to pray for people that don't like us and hope that they change their hearts and they come to know Christ and convert to Christ. So what is she talking about? You know what? Just to prove my point, so you can understand, you know, what's actually going on. This is 17th of August 2023, and guys, you can look this up. This is everywhere. All right. Muslim mobs burned churches in Pakistan after accusing Christians of desecrating Quran. Up to 17 churches, several homes burned or destroyed. Police and military sent in to stop attacks. Police and military sent in to stop attacks. No immediate reports of casualties. Listen, this is just a quick example. This is on the 17th of August 2023. Muslims burned 69 churches. I think this is in Nigeria, namely Niger. It only took a few hours, but it was enough time for hundreds of radical Muslims in Niger, West Africa, to destroy dozens of churches and several Christian homes. 10 people lost their lives and hundreds were injured when Muslim mobs went on the deadly rampage in early January. What is she talking about? Pakistan arrests 129 Muslims after mob on. Why Muslims mob? Come on, man. Seriously. If she wants a list of... If she wants to understand what's actually really going on, like, I'm just going to read. This is on Wikipedia, by the way. All right. The persecution of Christians is worldwide. All right. It's not just in Muslim countries. It's not just in Israel. It's worldwide. All right. This is from Wikipedia. The persecution of Christians by the Islamic State involves the systematic mass murder of Christians, of Christian minorities within the regions of Iraq, Syria, Egypt, and Libya controlled by the Islamic terrorist group Islamic State. Persecution of Christian minorities climaxed following the Syrian civil war and later by its spillover. According to U.S. diplomat Albert M. Fernandez, while the majority of the victims of the conflict which is raging in Syria and Iraq have been Muslims, Christians have borne a heavy burden given their small numbers. On February 3, 2016, the European Union recognized the persecution of religious minorities, including Christians, by the Islamic State as genocide. The vote was unanimous. The United States House of Representatives followed suit on March 15, 2016, declaring that these atrocities against minorities were genocide. On April 20, 2016, the British Parliament unanimously voted to denounce the actions against minorities genocide. Look, guys, I'm not going to go through everything, but you get the idea. All right? Christianity is the most persecuted religion on earth. All right? So this is just to give you guys an idea of what's actually going on, and before anyone thinks that I'm just I'm attacking Muslims, which I'm not, I'm just stating facts. Now, this is what's going on in Israel as well. Look.
A surprising report from Israel today where officials are taking seriously a recent upsurge in spitting and hitting attacks on clergy and the vandalism of Christian sites.
Christians in Jerusalem's Old City say they've been repeatedly assaulted. So how are Christian leaders responding? CBN's Julie Stahl brings us the story from Jerusalem.
The situation led Israeli President Isaac Herzog and Police Commissioner Yaakov Shabtai to meet leaders of the Orthodox and Catholic churches of the Holy Land.
In recent months, we've seen very serious phenomena towards the Christian denominations in the Holy Land. Our brothers and sisters, Christian citizens, feel attacked in their places of prayer, in their cemeteries and on the streets.
Christians in Jerusalem's Old City.
There you go. There you go. Look at it.
Say they are often harassed, spit on, and even physically attacked by religious Jewish youth.
Bro, it's only a question of time. It's only a question of time before they start murdering us there as well, just like they're doing in Muslim countries. It's only a question of time. All right. So, I don't know what she's talking about. Seriously.
Second of all, Jesus gave us 2 commandments. 1, love God. 2, love our brother as ourselves. So how can we be silent when our brothers and sisters in Palestine are literally getting crushed and burned to death?
Yeah, Jesus Christ also said to pray for your enemies. All right? To pray for your enemies, to love your enemy, and to pray for your enemies. To forgive your enemies and to pray for your enemies. That's also what Jesus said. All right? That means our prayers are not only for Palestinian or Christian Palestinian Christians. Our prayers are not only for that. Our actions are not only for that. So we are here to call everyone to Christ, regardless of how much they have hurt us, regardless if they are trying to kill us, regardless if they hate us. We are here to call them to Christ. We are here to forgive them and get them back to Christ again. That's what we're here for. All right. And we are here to pray for them. And this is what we are consistently doing. Islam and Judaism are completely different religions from Christianity, people. Okay, this idea that we are all the same is not true.
every minute of the day. 3, central to Jesus's message, not peripheral, central, was reaching across ethnic, class, and gender lines and loving and elevating people who are different to us, unlike the Jewish laws of that time. So the woman at the well who he elevated and spiritually healed, she was not Jewish, and he did this over and over again. So all of this stuff that I'm hearing about, oh, but the Jews are the chosen people and they inherit Israel, it does not excuse a genocide.
What are you talking about? The Jews are the Jews were the chosen people for a purpose, for a reason. It's to bring salvation to the entire world. They were not a chosen people because they are necessarily special. God calls them a stiff-necked people in the Old Testament. What is she talking about? And what's going on right now? It's not genocide. It is not genocide. It's war. That's what's going on right now. All right. Why do I say this? Listen, guys, war comes with consequences. And those consequences, I speak as someone who has gone through a war himself. I've survived the war, guys. All right. War has consequences. And in a war, people die. Children die. Babies die. That's what happens in a war. So when she says it's genocide, does anyone like the idea of babies dying, Palestinian babies dying? No. I find it evil, just like I find war evil. Is that what tends to happen in a war? Yes. That's what tends to happen in war. Usually in war, babies die. Usually in war, children die. And when you're fighting someone like Hamas, that literally dress like civilians, hide amongst civilians, and are willing to use civilians as shields, it makes it even more difficult. It's not as if Hamas have gathered together in one place and they are fighting, and they are easily recognizable, and they are fighting against the Israel army. That's not what's happening here. What's happening here, they hide amongst civilians. See, this narrative that she's trying to paint. Do I like what's going on? Do I like watching babies being killed in this way? I absolutely hate it. As a Christian, I pray this comes to an end immediately. Immediately. But what we can't say is that, Israel is deliberately doing this in order to kill Palestinian children. Or Israel is doing this because, nothing happened. They just want to destroy Palestinians. That's not what's happening. So I don't agree with her assessment of what's going on in Israel and within this conflict.
Whatever your beliefs are about that does not excuse a genocide. So Christine Kane, Joyce Meyer, Stephen Furtick, T.D. Jakes, Bianca Theoloff, set the gram where you at.
All right, guys, listen, man. I hope you enjoyed this reaction here. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna continue touching on this subject because I think we need to talk about it. We need to come to some kind of understanding. All right? Okay, guys. See you next time. Peace.